Welcome to Understand the Math. In this question, we're asked to compute the determinant by cofactor expansion. I've written down here in purple a strategy that you can use. You want to choose to start with the row or column with the most zeros. So let's look at this matrix that we've been given, and let's isolate the row or column with the most zeros. This is going to be our second row. So what we're going to do is we're going to do cofactor expansion along this row. This row only has one non-zero entry, and that's our 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to cross out the row and column common to 3. Now, before we start doing our calculation, we have to look at what's called our sign factor. We need to determine what the sign factor is for this entry. There's 2 ways that we can do this. The first way that we can do this is by writing down the entry. Our entry is in the second row and third column, so we can write it as A23. This is our row, and this is our column. So our sign factor is going to be -1, and then we're going to add these 2 numbers, 2 plus 3, and we're going to -1. So that is our sign factor that we're going to use to multiply by our entry 3. The other way that you can do this is to start in the upper left-hand corner and then go down and to the right, or to the right and down. I'm going to go to the right. So you alternate the sign. So this is plus, minus, plus, minus. If we would have gone down, we would have had plus, minus, plus, and we would still end up with our minus there. Okay, so we know that we're going to start by saying our determinant is -3, and then we're going to cross out the row and column that I've highlighted in pink that are common to our entry 3, and let's write down what's left. We have a 1, a -2, 2, and then we have a 2, a -4, and a 5, and then a 2, a 0, and a 5. Now we're going to start all over again. We're going to look at the row or column with the most zeros. So right away, I see that our third row or our second column has the most zeros. I'm going to choose arbitrarily to just go down the second column. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write our sign factor. So this is a plus, minus, and a plus. So we're going to have 2 entries that we're going to work with, and those are the sign factors. Let's work with the -2 first. So we have a -3, and we'll put a big bracket here because we're going to have 2 matrices because we have 2 non-zero entries in that column. We're going to have a minus, a -2. So we have a minus, a -2, and then we're going to cross out the row and column common to -2, and we're going to write down what's left. So we have a 2, a 5, a 2, and a 5. Then we're going to go to our next one, which is our -4. So that's a plus, -4. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to erase that highlight that we just did. And now I'm going to highlight the -4. So what's left is a 1, a 2, a 2, and a 5. And we're done with that part. Now we just have to go ahead and go through the calculation. So this is equal to -3. We have a 2. And then our determinant is going to be the main diagonal multiplied. We'll go ahead and highlight that, minus the off diagonal. So this is going to be a 10 minus 10. And then we have a -4. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take 1 times 5, and we're going to subtract off 2 times 2. So this is a 5 minus 4. This is a -3. We have a 2 times a 0. And then we have a -4 times 1. So we end up with a -3 times a -4. So our final determinant answer is equal to 12.
If this video has been helpful to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. Keep believing in yourself and have a great rest of your day.